In Davenport's Bechtel Park, and in view of Rock Island's Government Bridge, you'll find a larger-than-life bronze statue depicting a beardless 1856 Abe Lincoln meeting a boy on a railroad bridge. Officially titled A Little Less Opinion, A Little More Fact, it was crafted by artist Jeff Adams and unveiled in 2016. This was the spot where the first bridge across the Mississippi River was built, and it threatened steamboat companies because they realized that bridges would break their monopoly and put many of them out of business. They claimed that the bridge was a navigational hazard, and as if to prove this point, coincidentally, on May 6, 1856, the steamboat F.E. Afton crashed into the Rock Island Bridge. No one was killed, but the boat was destroyed and the bridge badly damaged. The financial loss for the boat's owners was substantial, and they sued not only to recover their losses, but also to have the bridge torn down. The 1857 trial, Heard versus the Railroad Bridge Company, had broad implications in the burgeoning battle of steamboats versus railroads, and would determine the future of these two industries. The case required the defense to convince the court that the bridge was not a material obstruction to the navigation of steamboats. Lincoln, who would reportedly whittle in court as he listened to witness testimony, seemed to have committed all the facts and figures to memory and often corrected evidence so effectively as to cause ripple of mirth in the audience. The defense, in trying to prove the bridge's value, attempted to make the case that not only was it not an obstruction, but that given the number of trains that had already passed over it carrying passengers and goods, it had a value to society that should, they believed, override any considerations of damage to the steamboats, and made the case for the two technologies to coexist. Lincoln called his opponent's versions of the events an absurdity and an impossibility, convincing the jury that he was not anti-steamboat, but that the case was being supported by the powerful steamboat lobby, and that he and his colleagues were only standing up to a powerful interest opposed to any and all bridges over the Mississippi. He also told jurors that there is travel from east to west whose demands are growing larger and larger, building up new counties with a rapidity never before seen in the history of the world. The case ended in a hung jury, with a 9-3 vote in favor of the bridge owners. It was, effectively, a victory, and several years of appeals followed with the case making its way to the Supreme Court. Ultimately, the bridge owners' victory was affirmed, and railroads overtook steamboats as the nation's primary method of transportation. Lincoln, who within 4 years would go on to be president, received $400 for his work on the case, which is equivalent to around $12,000 in 2019. The original bridge was repaired, and then replacements were built in 1865, 1872, and 1896. The 1896 bridge is still in use. That's all for today. Until next time, stay weird.